The market capitalization of the coin is used to summarize all that is taught in this video. I would also like to remind you to give my channel a like and subscribe to it so that you can stay up to date on future XRP news, as well as other cryptocurrency news in general. After that, take a look at, in addition, Ripple CLO celebrates a big victory over the Securities and Exchange Commission. This court has formally declared that XRP is not a securities, according to a major verdict that was handed down by the Securities and Exchange Commission. XRP was not classed as a security. This decision was made in order to end the case that the SEC was pursuing against Ripple Labs a year ago. The market for cryptocurrencies and the regulatory environment in the United States were both affected by this verdict, which had far-reaching consequences. Ripple, a digital payment network that is based on blockchain technology, earned a significant victory as a result of the ruling that established a significant precedent in the classification of cryptocurrencies. Specifically, how does Ripple engage with the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC). In December of 2020, the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) filed a lawsuit against Ripple, claiming that the company had engaged in an unregistered securities offering by selling XRP. The CC's lawsuit was filed against Ripple. Ripple, on the other hand, argued that XRP should be considered a currency rather than a security. On July 13, 2023, after a lengthy legal struggle, the court concluded in favor of Ripple. This decision came after Ripple had argued that XRP should be considered a currency. The decision of the court that XRP does not meet the criteria to be classified as a security had enormous ramifications for the It brought about the clarification of regulations that so desperately needed to be done. Because cryptocurrencies usually operate in a gray area, regulatory authorities frequently find themselves in a difficult position when it comes to identifying and regulating them. This is because cryptocurrencies are a relatively new phenomenon. XRP was not classified as a security according to the decision of the court, which set a precedent. Because of this judgment, it is possible that in the future, other cryptocurrencies may be seen differently and have different regulations. Because of this decision, the value of XRP on the market was also significantly impacted, which is another beneficial consequence, in accordance with the information that was supplied by TradingView. The price of XRP increased by around 6.5% after the ruling was carried out. Taking into consideration the particulars of the circumstance, Stuart Alderode, chief legal officer of Ripple, voiced his thoughts on X and stressed the gravity of the decision that Judge Torres made. In other matters, including the recent litigation against Binance, he pointed out that this decision paves the way for the recognition that the Securities and Exchange Commission, which is led by Chairman Gensler, has overstepped its bounds and deviated from legal standards. He said that this decision prepares the way for the recognition of this fact. Alderode stressed that it is an undesirable strategy to rely on prolonged litigation to decide the status of each token on a case-by-case basis. This is the case despite the fact that the court has granted the necessary oversight of the actions carried out by the SEC. Over the course of the past year, Ripple and the CCA have engaged in a greater number of legal fights and negotiations, which has resulted in the continuous growth of the dispute. A total retreat on the part of the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has not taken place, and the regulatory environment continues to be difficult. Ripple, on the other hand, has taken use of this time period to either strengthen its position in the market or better the legal arguments that it has presented. It has been exactly 1 year since Judge Torres issued a major order which asserts, among other things, that XRP is not a security. This order was issued exactly 1 year ago. Today, on this particular day, this decision was taken. In addition to being a momentous day for Ripple, it was also a momentous one for the regulation of currencies. The fact that XRP is not a security is a big success for the industry today. There is no such thing as a security when it comes to the sale of securities on exchanges. In accordance with the rules, it is not considered a security when sales are made by executives. Furthermore, any other payments of XRP, such as those provided to developers, charities, or workers, do not qualify as securities as a means of commemorating this milestone. Stuart Alderode, chief legal officer of Ripple, shared his perspective on the decisions that were made about the cryptocurrency throughout the presentation, when the general position of the Securities and Exchange Commission filing of the United States on the case is taken into consideration. The ruling, according to Alderode, has greater repercussions than what was originally anticipated. One example of the OO that the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has engaged in while Chair Gensler has been in charge is the recent establishment of Binance, which is yet another illustration of the OO. He, on the other hand, made the point that determining the status of tokens on a case-by-case basis through expensive litigation is not a practical approach in the long run. He said this in response to the question. Alderode was made aware of the The fact that officials from both political parties are becoming increasingly irritated with the lack of legislative action regarding crypto laws. This information was brought to Durati's notice. It was his warning that the United States of America is falling behind other countries in this particular sector. It is the conclusion of Ripple VCC. Ripple has been involved in a legal dispute with the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) for nearly 4 years at this point. By selling XRP, Ripple was accused of engaging in unlawful securities offering, according to the latter. This accusation was made by the former. After the completion of this high-profile lawsuit, there is a possibility that the Bitcoin industry may be significantly impacted. Others are of the opinion that the much-anticipated verdict might be handed down toward the end of July, despite the fact that the particular date of the verdict has not yet been determined. In April, Ripple presented its opposition to the motion for remedies that was presented by the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC). On the other hand, the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has previously advocated for a $2 billion penalty, which is substantially more harsh than before. Ripple, on the other hand, thinks that any civil penalty should not be more than $10 million. An important decision was made in the ongoing legal case between Ripple Labs and the United States Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC), in which it was determined that XRP is not considered to be a security. This finding was accomplished in the previous year. This precedent-setting decision will have significant ramifications for the overall regulatory environment as well as the Bitcoin industry in the United States. Ripple, a payment network that is built on blockchain technology, achieved a significant victory as a result of the court's decision, which established a significant precedent for the classification of digital currencies. Can you tell me about the situation between Ripple and the SEC? Ripple was accused of conducting an unregistered securities offering with its sale of XRP, which led to the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) initiating legal proceedings against the company in December of 2020. A response was provided by Ripple, which stated that XRP ought to be regarded as a currency rather than a security. After a large amount of legal maneuvering, the court has stated that XRP is not a security. This verdict brings much-needed clarity to the Bitcoin business, which frequently struggles with regulatory conditions that are unclear. By determining that XRP does not qualify as a security, the court established a precedent that has the potential to influence the way in which other digital assets are regulated. As a result of the ruling, the value of XRP experienced a significant increase in the market, with its price increasing by almost 6. The specifics of the situation, a statement made by Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderode, highlighted the significance of the ruling made by Judge Torres. It was brought to his attention that this verdict not only limited the excessive power that Chairman Gensler had exercised over the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC), but it also highlighted the ineffectiveness of determining the status of each token through drawn-out legal battles. This ruling has wider-reaching implications for other cases, including the litigation that is now being conducted regarding Binance itself. The dispute between Ripple and EC has been the subject of ongoing legal debates and discussions over the course of the past year. However, despite the fact that the SEC has not changed its position, the regulatory environment continues to be convoluted and unclear. The cryptocurrency company Ripple has taken advantage of this opportunity to strengthen its legal defenses and strengthen its market position, thereby laying the framework for future developments in the Bitcoin industry. Ripple was accused of selling unregistered securities, and the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) filed a lawsuit against the company, claiming that XRP is a security and not a commodity. The Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) asserted that the blockchain business had unethically earned $1.08 billion through the sale of the token. The dispute between a cryptocurrency firm and regulatory bodies turned out to be one of the most significant disagreements that ever occurred. In spite of the fact that the court had held hearings and motions for an entire year, it was still difficult to